I've seen way too many gamers go for a cheap, single-port USB-C hub and end up dragging a tangle of adapters, losing performance, or even frying a port after a few weeks of heavy use. The regret is real. You think you're saving money, but when you're in the middle of a raid and the connection drops, you wish you'd spend a little more. That's why I wanted to see if Anker's Nano 13-in-1 dock feels like the smarter buy for a serious gaming setup instead of a budget shortcut. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the thing that makes this dock stand out is the detachable 6-in-1 hub. You can keep the main block on your desk for a permanent workstation and pop the hub off when you need to travel light. In practice, that means you can plug your gaming laptop into a triple monitor rig at home, then pull the hub out and slip the whole thing into a backpack for a LAN event without lugging a separate dock. For anyone who switches between a full-blown home rig and a more portable setup, that flexibility is worth the extra price tag. When I wired my own Dell G15 up to the dock, I used both HDMI ports to drive a 144Hz 27-inch panel and a 4K TV for streaming. The third output, DisplayPort, stayed idle, but having 3 independent video lanes is useful if you want a true triple-monitor battlefield. The dock delivers 10 gigabits per second data through the USB-C upstream, so moving massive game files from an external SSD to the laptop didn't feel throttled. I also tested the Ethernet port with a 1 gigabit per second fiber line. The connection was rock solid, and latency stayed low enough that I didn't notice any lag in competitive titles. Power delivery is another area where cheaper docks stumble. Many low-cost options cap at 60 W, which forces a gaming laptop to run off battery while you're plugged in, quickly draining the pack and causing thermal throttling. Anker's dock pushes up to 100 W, which, in my tests, kept the laptop fully powered even under sustained loads in shadow of the Tomb Raider. The fan on the laptop stayed at its normal boost curve, and I didn't see the sudden temperature spikes that usually happen when the charger can't keep up. If you're planning to game for hours while docked, that 100 WPD is a real lifesaver. Now let's talk about the practical downsides. The dock itself is about the size of a small notebook, and while the detachable hub trims the footprint, the combined weight is still a few pounds. It's not something you'd want to carry in a pocket, and setting it up on a cramped bedside table can feel a bit awkward. Also, because the dock routes the video signal through the USB-C controller, you can't push 3 4K 60Hz monitors at once. The bandwidth caps out around 2 high-resolution streams plus the third display at a lower refresh rate. If you're a content creator who needs a true 4K triple monitor wall, you'll need a more specialized solution. Another nuance for gamers is the impact on battery life when you're not plugged in. The dock's USB-A ports are great for attaching a mechanical keyboard, a gaming mouse, and even a USB-C powered headset, but each active peripheral draws a small amount of power back through the dock. In my idle tests, the laptop's battery drain went from 2% per hour on its own to about 3% per hour with the dock connected, but no external devices. That's not a deal breaker, but if you're trying to squeeze an extra few hours of unplugged play, you'll notice the difference. Who should actually buy this dock? If you have a mid to high-end gaming laptop that you treat as a desktop replacement at home, and you already own a set of external monitors, a wired Ethernet connection, and maybe an external SSD, the Nano 13-in-1 gives you a single cable solution that cleans up your desk and removes the need for a bunch of separate adapters. The detachable hub is a bonus for anyone who attends tournaments or visits friends' houses. You can still bring your favorite peripherals without dragging the entire dock. It also makes sense for streamers who need a reliable Ethernet link and multiple USB ports for capture cards, lighting, and microphones, all while keeping the laptop powered. Who should skip it? If you're a minimalist who only needs one external monitor and a couple of USB ports, the dock is overkill, and you'll be paying for features you'll never use. Likewise, if you travel constantly and want something that fits in a pocket, a slimmer single-port hub will be lighter and cheaper. Finally, if your laptop only supports 65W charging, you won't reap the full benefit of the 100 WPD, and you might be better off with a cheaper dock that matches your power envelope. Overall, the Anker Nano 13-in-1 dock feels like a purpose-built bridge between a gaming laptop and a stationary workstation. It solves the most common pain points, messy cables, insufficient power, and limited display options, without compromising on the performance.